This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, y'all. We got to pick apart Terrence Crawford, man. I just saw that interview, man, with Joe Rogan, dog. Joe Rogan Entertainment, right? With him, Bo Mac, and Terrence Crawford. I got to pick some things apart. Shout outs to the homie Barbershop's Conversation. I see, man, they making noise about you, man. You know what I'm saying? You got Joe Rogan now talking about you. You're making waves, dog. So salute to you, brother. But anyways, because they said Barbershop's Conversation or Barbershop Garage. So shout outs to Barbershop's Conversation, man. That when you're a cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth teller, they don't like that, man. They just hot and bothered like grits because you saying Earl the True Spence going what? Bulldoze Sean, going bulldoze Terrence Crawford. That's what they hot and bothered about. I done messed around and said Sean Constipated Boy. Well, his ass getting bulldozed too. But on to the damn video, man. Terrence Crawford said some things that made sense, but then he also said things that didn't make sense. Let's talk about the things he said that make sense first. So I've never done this today, but I'm going to give the double higgity hush, dog. Terrence Crawford gets the 1, 2, the double higgity fucking hush of the damn day. Here's the reason why. Here's the good things that he said first before we go into double higgity hush mode. He said that if he retires, he will be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he gets credit for that because he was undisputed at 140. You can't argue that, right? He's done something that hasn't been done since Bernard Hopkins, so no one's going to sit here and discredit that. He's been in the top 3 pound for pound for years, right? So he gets credit for that. No one's going to discredit that. But we know what time it is, man. We've seen the opponents that you fought. We know how Top Rank does their matchmaking, and we know that you fight a lot of fighters that are definitively better than you. So there's an argument there as well, too, that could be made on the opposite end. But I'm not going to pick you apart. With that, I'm going to just go ahead and cut you the slack. You do get some merit with that. But here's where you get the double higgity fucking hush of the damn day, dude. Earl the True Spence needs you, but you don't need him. Okay. It's like you done fell and dropped your head off on a damn cement, and then you turn yourself into Timothy Knothead Bradley. I think you starting to get those knotheads or those bullet heads upside your damn head. Listen, dog. Hear me and hear me well, man. Earl the True Spence don't need you, man. You need him more than he needs you. Let me say it again. Earl the True Spence don't need you. You need him more than he needs you. He has options to fight Cinnamon Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, that is. If Earl the True Spence fights Canelo Alvarez, then beats him, nobody's going to be talking about you, bud. Because Canelo Alvarez universally is known as a higher and more marketable level fighter than you. Let me say it again. Universally, Canelo Alvarez is known as a higher and a more marketable level fighter than you. Plus, Earl the True Spence got options at 154. Then he's going to have options at 160. And like I said, he could possibly go up to 168, 175. So sky's is the limit for his boxing resume. With or without you, Earl the True Spence going to eat. He's going to survive. The reason why you keep saying he needs you and you don't need him is because you don't have no options, dog. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. I keeps the foot on the what? On the next. It's because you don't have no options, man. You were Top Rank, dog. You crippled yourself in that regard. So because you crippled yourself in that regard, you suffocated yourself. That's not Earl the True Spence's fault. That's on you and Bo Mac, the Negroes that don't know how to count their money's part. For you guys. Damn, I was only going to do 4 videos today. But then I saw the interview and I was like, nah, we pushing 5. Because guess what? I still got to do Earl the True Spence going what? Bulldoze Sean Constipated Porter. But dude, you're clueless, man. You're a classic dope and you're a troglodyte. Every time you talk, I can tell you missing a few screws up here. Earl the True Spence don't need you. Now, we know he's going to fight you for a legacy. He's going to fight you so that he can prove to everyone that he's supposedly is not ducking you. So, you know, we know that that's going to happen. You're going to get bulldozed in late 2020. But you guys keep pushing. You guys keep talking about Errol Spence. Errol Spence ain't even focused on you guys right now, man. He's dealing with a unification bout with Sean Constipated Porter that he has to bulldoze right now. Why Errol Spence is in your damn mouth? Because he clearly ain't dealing with your ass. Clearly ain't talking about your ass. The only time he talks about you is when these classic dotes and these troglodytes. the Timothy Knothead Bradleys, the bullet heads, right, come out of their mouth to say that he's ducking. That's the only time he mentions you. Other than that, you're not relevant to Earl the Truth Spence. You never were, and you never will be. You will get bulldozed. Trust and believe that. No, nobody ducking you, dog. Earl the Truth Spence want all that damn free smoke. But you guys are desperate. When you have Green, Mean, Machine on your resume to fight December 14th, that is clearly a promoter problem. That is clearly an issue that you have. Now, you said one thing that was the cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat truth. It was the fact that you said you were with Top Rank. That's what the reason why these fights can be made. Dodo head. Brain full of mush. Brainwash. Boxer. That is Terrence Bud Crawford. You finally got it? Ding, 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 ding. The light bulb just went off your head. You just realized that you crippled yourself by re-signing with Top Rank. Okay, I'm glad you realized that. I'm glad you smartened up, dude. Because that's the issue. It has nothing to do with Earl the Truth Spence. Now motherfuckers understand what Earl the Truth Spence talked about, the other side of the street. They're getting it now. They're understanding the narrative behind it. They understand what that means. It means that on the other side of the damn street, which is Top Rank, there's always an issue with them and PBC making fights. And I'm glad you acknowledge. See, again, you shut down your Terrence Bud Crawford fanboy man crushes, and you shut down your Terrence Bud Crawford fanboys. That what? It ain't Errol Spence. Because Joe Rogan asked you that question, you think he's avoiding you? And you made it very clear. No, it's a promotion thing. It has nothing to do with him and him not wanting to fight. See, again, Terrence Bud Crawford, out of his own mouth, out of the GOAT's mouth, shut down these Terrence Bud Crawford fanboys and Terrence Bud Crawford fanboy man crushes. Because Terrence Bud Crawford know what time it is. Him and Earl the Truth Spence went face to face. And they done tested each other's temperature. And when they tested each other's temperature, they walked away with mutual respect. You don't get no ducking from that. And anybody that's running with a ducking narrative is an idiot. They're what we call ultra fanboys with an ultra fanboy rhetoric. They're one-trick pony narratives, and they have one-trick pony mindsets because they want to bamboozle, they want to beguile and betwixt these brain full of mush and brainwashed dodo heads into thinking that supposedly Earl the Truth Spence is ducking Terrence Bud Crawford. Listen, man, your resume at 147 is suspect. Every chance you get a mic in your face, you gotta call out Earl the Truth Spence. That man don't need you, you need him. So I'm glad you realized that, yeah, the details need to be ironed out on which, you know what I'm saying, TV structure or contract it needs to be, whether it's Fox. All of that shit needs to be ironed out. Because what these dodo heads don't realize, these brain full of mush and these brainwashed followers, these ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric, shout outs to EJ88 because I got to point it out. These people think it's some school. It's like we're in school, and then at the end of school, we go to the back of the bike rack, and we're going to fight. No. From one three-dimensional thinker to the next. Shout outs to EJ88. That's why I pinned your comment, dog. That's the problem with these ultra fanboys. They don't understand common sense. And shout outs to EJ88 again for understanding that I am the master of common sense, and I state the most obvious. Remember, I have leagues and droves of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I just have so much of it. It's not even funny. And I'm one of the rare people on YouTube delivering common sense here, stating the most obvious. And the truth of the fact of the matter is this: it's prize fighting. So things have to be ironed out before a fight can legitimately be made. You guys messed yourself up, Terrence Bud Crawford and Bo Mack and Bob Arum, when y'all said the fight should be 50-50. Well, we know damn well it ain't no 50-50 fight. Now y'all starting to realize that y'all the B-side. And y'all starting to realize that y'all now coming into the table the way you're supposed to. Had you would have done this, Al Heyman would have been open. He would have given open arms to this shit. But y'all didn't do that. So Terrence Bud Crawford, stop being delusional, man. This nonsense about Earl the Truth Spence need me. No, you need him. For your relevancy and the rest of your legitimacy of your boxing career, you need Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence got options, bro. Trust and believe that. With or without you, Errol Spence's legacy is going to be where it needs to be at. But you are forever tied to his legacy. So that once you get the Hagler and Hearns treatment and you get bulldozed, they're going to be able to say, at least you stepped up to the plate. You fought Earl the Truth Spence, and he gave you what? a bunch of pain and a bunch of punishment. Because that's what he's going to give you, man. You're going to get tactical aggression, technical punching placement, and body snatching work, the levying onslaught of the punishment style. It's going to be pain, pain, and more pain. That's how that fight is going to go, man. And the more Errol the Truth Spence gets these step-up fights, that's going to step up his boxing abilities and his boxing skills, which is already insane and off the charts. And you're regressing in boxing abilities and in boxing skills because you're not fighting elite competition when you're fighting Mean Green Machine instead of fighting Kell Brook, which is a work that you legitimately and unequivocally and emphatically is ducking. Then when that fight happens, you get bulldozed. Don't worry, man. I already know what your Terrence Crawford fanboy man crushers or Terrence Crawford fanboys are gonna say. Oh, Terrence Crawford was too light on his ass. Yeah, Errol the Truth Spence, he's a weight bully. That's gonna be the new narrative. But we debunk that shit. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. I keeps the foot on the what? On the necks. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.